So if you hire somebody and you're going to discriminate based on race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, you've just excluded a point of view that you don't have. So you've just excluded a group of people that could be your customers, maybe even your most loyal customers.
欢迎收听佩佩没在闹PeiPeiTalks，让我陪你去美国，陪你开店，陪你认识食品业，陪你聊天。今天陪你开店邀请到之前在波士顿的一家咖啡厅的老板 Serg 来跟我们分享，所以这集是用英文访谈，但是在最后面我一样会用中文大概讲一下今天访谈的内容。那这家店是在麻州一个叫 Malden 的地区，它也是在大波士顿地区。老板非常特别，他是来自 Moldova 这个国家，不知道大家有没有听过，他在东欧，中文是摩尔多瓦。反正呢，他就在美国开了一家咖啡厅，叫做 Bikeeny Caffe。我们这集会聊到为什么会在波士顿地区开店，这家是怎样的咖啡厅，为什么会选择卖咖啡，那之前没有咖啡的经验要怎么开始，以及开店前要做什么准备，跟老板是身为一个外国人在美国开店有没有遇到什么挑战。那这集偏长，我本来有在犹豫要不要干脆分2集，但后来想说算了，一气呵成好了，这样好像比较有完整度。那也相信如果可以耐心听完的话， Serg 讲蛮多观点，我是觉得蛮有收获的，或是也可以直接快转到后面听我用中文讲一下大纲的访谈内容。那我们就欢迎 Serg。
Hi Bailey, so good to see you. It's been a very, very long time. Yeah, I've known you for how many years? 3 years?
I think so.
Yeah, you were Bikeeny Caffe is a family-owned local coffee shop here in Malden, Massachusetts. We incorporated in 2017, but we opened shortly after. So 2018, we're going 3 years strong. Well, you know, it was a big step for us because statistically we had the chances of being closed.
Yes.
1 in 5 makes it past 3 years. So we are one of those 5.
Yeah, you made it.
So I can officially say we made it. I am originally from the Republic of Moldova. That's no reason your listeners should know where that is. It's a small Eastern European country. There's about 2 million people in between Romania and Ukraine. We moved in 2012, but I did go to high school in Colorado, and I lived in Italy, in Romania, Moldova, Colorado, California, Nevada, Martha's Vineyard, Vermont, and then Massachusetts.
You are a traveler.
A little bit, yeah. So I've lived in a few bunch of places, and out of all, we decided Malden, Massachusetts is our home, and this is where I live with my wife Evelina, and the two of us run the coffee shop together.
Why did you choose Boston finally?
So Boston is very close geographically, latitude to Moldova, so the weather is very similar. Because I lived in so many places, I can compare, and I really like having fall. This is my favorite time of the year, and I like a little bit of a winter and the spring. You get all the seasons here, and the people. I have to say that Massachusetts people can seem, from an outsider's perspective, can seem a little bit of rough on the outside. They have a shell. But once you become a friend of mine who's born and raised here in Massachusetts, put it perfectly. So Anita says, it's as if we have a skin, but once you become a friend, you are there forever. Yeah. So you are a lifelong friend once you break through that skin. So it matches to how I am. You know me. That's why. Those are the 2 main reasons. So weather, nobody would pick weather. Massachusetts weather, nobody would pick that. But I personally like it.
So let's talk about your coffee shop. What will you say what kind of this coffee shop is?
So the best way to describe it is a hybrid. It's 3 main pillars that we have. The food has its inspiration in Moldova. It's close to our heart, where we make these bikinis, which you know everything about. They're the European style puff pastries with savory fillings, but also sweet. So feta is a big, huge, so filling in terms of sales for us.
That's so
it's
delicious.
It's the original. It's a recipe that my grandmother used to make. And we brought that here. We brought it where nobody else in the world makes it, right? So the food is inspired from Eastern Europe, from what we grew up with. The coffee is Italian style. So my dad lives in Italy, Parmigiano Reggiano in Parma, and I spent there 4 or 5 summers. Fell in love with the espresso culture and the whole little coffee shops everywhere on the corners. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then customer service, nobody does it the way Americans do. The United States, hands down, in terms of customer service culture and attention to detail, and customers always right. So those 3 things. So in Moldovan food, Italian style espresso, and then American customer service.
I think so. I think you build up a very good customers loyalty and community, and it seems your customers or residents near you really love this coffee shop.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I think when it comes to product, you have several special flavors of coffee. Like I remember there is banana caramel latte, or there's something like chocolate coconut with almond milk. How did you create it, or how did you come up with these ideas?
I stole them. I stole them from other places. I kid you not. So I did, before we opened the coffee shop, Octavian and I, Octavian is one of the founders.
Yes.
We did 2,400 miles road trip throughout the United States. We started in Chicago, drove to Florida, and then from Florida to Seattle, Washington, literally across the country. It took 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. It was long. And so we went everywhere we stopped. We went to a local craft coffee shop. And so we took notes, we wrote down, we tasted, we tried, we did all of the research we could have done and more. And by the end of it, I was, it was, I'm complaining now, but it was fun. Yeah. It was a fun experience. So everywhere I tried this one banana coffee. I don't even remember where it was, but it blew my mind. Banana and coffee should not go together. It shouldn't. It just doesn't make sense. But for some reason it worked. So, okay, this goes on our menu right there. If I have something to tell your listeners that are thinking about opening a business, I forget who said it. It might have been Bob Dylan or something. All new ideas are just well-forgotten old ideas. So if you can get inspiration from anywhere, the parts that you like, the parts that ultimately we've changed them, right? Ultimately, we've made them our own. We've adapted to the local market, to the needs, to what people buy. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter how great it is or how great you think it is, right? If it doesn't sell, people don't care about it. Move on. Just kill your babies. That's what they say. Kill your babies and make new ones.
I'm also curious, why coffee? Like, why do you want to sell coffee? Did you have any similar experience before?
This is a very good lesson. And thank you for asking me that, by the way, because my background is in food. I've worked in over 10 years in different restaurants in various positions.
Okay.
And so my background was in food. Moldova does not have an incredible coffee culture. So growing up, coffee was instant coffee. It was like powdery form with a ton of sugar and cream, and that was it. Later in the years, my mom would get like, as people who were exposed to Italian stuff, would get the mocha pots. So people would make mocha pots, but that was much. Growing up, I don't remember. Tea was the drink of choice in Moldova, a huge tea variety. So I knew that I had to there was no other way. I had to open my own establishment.
Yeah.
This was something that I knew when I was 10 years old, maybe. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it would look like. Because working in the restaurant industry for 10 years, this is what I knew best. And I'm a morning person, so I didn't particularly enjoy staying there nights, 2 a.m., and then not having a personal life. So I knew it had to be a breakfast place. And we almost opened a food truck, which I'm so glad we didn't. It's so hard to have a food truck, especially in the winters of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's
How
super
did you
hard.
survive?
Oh yeah. So, and then somebody said to me, well, look at all these other food trucks. At some point, they open a brick and mortar store. Why not just go there right away? Why not just open a brick and mortar store? Because that's what they're trying to do anyways. Mm-hmm. And it made sense. And so I thought the pastries were going to be the only thing we need to draw in customers, because homemade, it takes a week to make, unique flavor, everything just screamed pastries. Octavian, to give him credit, he lived in Seattle at the time, and he saw what coffee means to people in America.
Yes.
He's always said, man, I know your pastries are great, your food is going to be amazing, we need to get great coffee. Mm-hmm. And he was so right. He was on point. People will come for really good coffee. They will drive from New Hampshire to us. They will drive for an hour and get our, is this one particular person I'm thinking about. They will drive for good cup of coffee, for something that they love.
That's so nice.
And so then the pastries is secondary in a way. And I'm glad I was proven wrong. I'm glad I took the advice.
Yeah, I think coffee is one of the necessary things in people's life. And if you want to have a long-term business, you have to have necessary stuff.
Let me ask you this. How's coffee culture in Taiwan?
I think it's kind of a necessary stuff in Taiwan too. And we have lots of the chain store, famous chain store, Starbucks, or some Taiwanese-based coffee shop, and we have several. Only one store, but it's really pretty, very special. You have to come, really.
It's on my list for sure.
And if you didn't have any coffee experience before, how did you learn it, or how did you know which coffee beans vendors you need to reach out or anything?
We were really, really lucky, and you will hear me say that a lot. I feel like opening a business is just, you have to be a little bit naive to say, oh, everything's going to work out right away. Mm-hmm. So because I had no idea, I would like to say that I'm a pretty open-minded person when it comes to most things. Mm-hmm. So having an open mind about anything helps you learn. So, okay, especially because I didn't know the right way to do it, I just educated myself. Mm-hmm. YouTube is huge on learning about pretty much anything about coffee. There's a few places that I found super interesting. And then the biggest luck of all was when we were looking at different coffee shops. The one we picked in Malden used to be a bubble tea. And the owner of the bubble tea shop, the owner that sold us the business, was a Starbucks executive. Okay. So he was a local coffee guy. He knew everything about local producers and roasters, and so we sat down with him. I remember it was one day for like 4 hours. I sat down and I just drilled his brain, and I asked him, hey, how did you do this? Because he had the same coffee we had now. He had incredible coffee, and just because his name didn't scream coffee shop, his name screamed bubble tea. Mm-hmm. People didn't didn't even imagine that he could have world-class micro-roasted, locally small batch coffee. And Ryan told me, hey, because I'm this Starbucks executive, I know my coffee. I started with 100 companies, and out of those 100 companies, maybe a dozen of them told me they can make me a custom blend. Mm-hmm. And I visited all 12 of them, and I met the people, and I saw what the people are like, and I saw the facilities, and I saw their track record, and I tasted them all, and I picked Hogan Brothers. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know otherwise. So I said, okay, let's go pay Hogan Brothers in Framingham a visit. And so we went, we became instant friends, really cool people. It's just like a small mom and pop operation, which I love. They're right there. If we have an issue or a problem, just call them up or drive up. We order every single week, so small batches, which is hard to do. If you have bigger vendors or it's very hard to do. Mm-hmm. And so the luck was that we knew Ryan. Mm-hmm. He had an interest because he wanted to sell the business. But I learned everything from there. Yeah, it was just luck. I have to say that.
That's so amazing. Let's talk about the process of opening a store. Like before having a coffee shop, what do you need to prepare? Can you share with us some process of creating your business?
Absolutely. So first of all, you need to be crazy. What I mean by that is most businesses statistically, in the food industry especially, statistically fail. And the margins are super low. The turnover of the employees is high. You have highly perishable items in a market that is super trend-based. People's tastes change, right? If COVID was any indication, stuff happens out of your control that will affect the way you do business. Just the only reason you should start a business, a coffee shop, a restaurant, is because you don't see yourself doing anything else. This is my opinion because it is one of the worst ideas you can have with your money. People that started business in the restaurant industry will know what I'm talking about. There's just no other way. I did not see myself doing anything else at the time. So scratching that itch, proving that you can do it, is really important. The process was very rigorous. I was super meticulous. I worked in a few cafes because I worked in a bunch of restaurants and kitchens before that. So the coffee shop, so I got specifically jobs just to see if I like it, just to steal some of those ideas, right? To see the day-to-day operations, and because I didn't know at that time, hey, is this what I'm going to do for sure? Let's try it out. And this is one of the biggest advice I can give to people that think they want to open a food establishment, is go work for somebody else. Just go do it. You inevitably, imagine, I was, so at that time, I was working I switched restaurant industries, and I was working in IT sales because I was done of working the nights and the environment and the low pay and all of this that comes with the food industry. And so I was in a cubicle doing sales, and I hated it. Every single day, I did not like it at all. It did not suit my personality. And so daydreaming at work, after work, hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I would rather be in a coffee shop or a cafe all day. I'd rather chat with people. I would rather see that. And so I started fanatically. And so I took a huge pay cut to go work as an entry-level barista that I've never worked before, just to see what it's like, just to get by osmosis to see. And I was lucky enough to work in a coffee shop that just opened. So they opened a week after I started. So I saw these people were doing it for a long time. They've been doing it since 95. And so they had their experiences, and they still had things that they didn't have figured out. This was the biggest light bulb in my head. There was like, oh, these people have been doing it for decades, and when they open a new store, they still kind of don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They still, oh, I guess this broke, let's fix it. Oh, I guess this toaster doesn't work over here, let's move it over there, see how that goes. It was a big light bulb moment in my head. As long as you're willing to learn and adapt, all of the prep you're going to do, all of the experience you have in the past almost doesn't matter. Almost I forget who said it, but they say the biggest resource you can have, the most important resource you can have, is being resourceful.
Okay. I interviewed another coffee shop owner in Taiwan, and she also said something like this, like she worked as a barista first, and people will feel it's weird because she studied abroad, and people like, why you study in UK and you want to have a barista title here?
Can you imagine? I'm kind of, for that owner that hired me, I was the lowest paid employee he had, right? I was the newest guy. I didn't care. But I also was the most hardworking, the most interested, because I had other motives, right? I wanted to see what it's like. I wanted to learn everything about it. And so I'd ask a million questions. He must have been like, look at this new guy. I mean, he loved me for it. You know, he was like, oh my God, such dedication. He was so sad when I left.
Were you working while preparing your own shop, or did you like stop working and have a period of time concentrate on preparing your shop?
So from the moment we knew we're going to open a coffee shop till the moment we opened, it took about 7 months.
Okay.
It was a whole bunch of looking at locations, making the menu, testing out recipes, finalizing stuff, getting to the city, different locations, but mainly finding the spot. Because once we found the spot we moved into, it took 7 weeks. It was super fast. And so I quit my job right as we put the deposit to buy this new business. We got fully functioning coffee shop. We changed the name, we painted, we bought some of the fridges, the refrigerators, but we had an espresso machine, we had a grinder, we had 7 fridges, we had a display case, we had furniture, everything was in place. We freshened it up, we put our logo, we did our website, we did all of that, but most of the work was done for us. So that helped tremendously in terms of saving money, but also in terms of getting it to market fast. 7 weeks was amazing. Was super fast.
It is.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned you come from Moldova. So as a foreigner in the United States, is there any challenge to have a business here, or what is the biggest challenge that you've ever faced?
That's a really good question. So the answer in Malden, I have to say, is no. There's zero challenges to being a foreigner in and opening a business here. It's a matter of the local government. I have to say, and I have to give credit to Kevin Duffy. He is the Malden's business development person. There's this dedicated person in Malden that makes sure other businesses come. And the day I met Kevin, all of the doors were open for me. He would be on our case. Hey, when are you guys opening up? Come on, it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks. Let's cut the tape. Let's bring the mayor. Let's do this. Unbelievable. It was a breath of fresh air, not knowing that how it would go, right? Logistics, bureaucracy is everywhere in government. Inevitable. Here, the opposite of that. They wanted us here. It makes sense. When you think about it, we are a coffee shop. We don't sell alcohol. We don't open late. We bring jobs. A portion of the sales tax, the meals tax, goes directly to the local government. So they have an incentives to some local government people realize that it's good. It's good for business to promote bringing and some haven't. We haven't had the same easiest experience when researching other towns.
Yeah.
If anything, it's been an asset, I believe, at least for me. The way I see it is people are curious. Oh, from Moldova, where is that? Hey, what do you like? Also, we have the advantage that Malden is a very diverse place. There's, I don't know how many, 100 languages, 70 languages, I don't even know, that people speak in high school here. So the Malden High School has dozens and dozens of foreign language speaking people.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we had a super easy time integrating. Because of that, our customers, our local government, our chief of police, our chief of fire chief are very, very open-minded people. Yeah, if anything, it's been a blessing to be, we felt super, super welcome. And it's maybe another reason that we love it here so much.
Yeah, when I work there, I feel so too. Like, sometimes I feel I'm a Taiwanese and my English is not perfect. People wouldn't like to talk to me. Like, sometimes I feel my classmates like that. And when I work at a coffee shop, I feel people are so friendly. Like, even like you say poor English, but people still like very open-minded and willing to talk to you.
I've worked in a bunch of restaurants, and I have to say, we have the best customer base here. I have no idea why. I have no idea how.
Yeah.
Everyone is super patient. Everyone is super friendly. everyone wants us to succeed. A friend of mine that's in the industry, I asked him about it. He's like, I have no control. I would work in these other town and then other restaurants, and the customers would be way more difficult. They'd be way more unreasonably demanding sometimes. You know, there'd be quirks of learning the local target audience, right? It'd be, again, we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a say in who our customers are. So I think because it's so diverse, it attracts open-minded people. It attracts people that are tolerant of other nationalities, other sexual orientations, other, you name it. There's zero, like, it's the opposite of being discriminated against. It's not even an issue. It's so interesting. I had a customer of ours. There was the gay pride, and one of our customers asked us, well, why don't you put a flag in the window to symbolize that you support the LGBTQ community? And I said, well, you obviously don't come here too often, right? Because, I would rather you come in, and that's not even something we discuss. It's a given, right? It's something that just comes. It just is.
Yeah.
It's not a separate thing that I have to display and show. It just exists.
Yeah.
It's just there. If you come here and you sit and you observe the type of employees we have, the type of customers we have, the way we talk, the way we treat everybody, not just a certain group of people. You shouldn't, it just exists. So I thought that was interesting, because it was like, sure, we'll put it if enough people ask me about it. But it was like, yeah, it's a non-issue. That's where we should start. It's like, it's not even a thing.
I like your opinion. Like, how do you mention this? How do you present this idea?
Yeah, it's like, it's not even something extra that we do.
Yeah,
no,
I can feel that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Just like see how you hire people. I remember your employees are also diverse.
Yeah. This is another lesson that I have for your listeners. If you're thinking of opening a business, I never understood it. When you walk into an establishment, and obviously geography plays a huge role, and the type of candidates that apply to your positions have a huge role. However, I never understood a business that's going to discriminate based on anything, right? Based on, you name it. Think about it. So if you hire somebody and you're going to discriminate based on race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, you've just excluded a point of view that you don't have. So you've just excluded a group of people that could be your customers, maybe even your most loyal customers. How do you know? You've just excluded those people because of your own prejudices. So as a business, assuming you want to succeed, right? You want to succeed in business. Selfishly, I want to be as open to as many different people. You know who's really good at this? Apple.
Okay.
I hate to give Apple credit for anything, but if there's one thing that I give Apple credit for is when you walk into an Apple store, you will see all of the ages you can see. You will see clothes of different levels of sophistication, tattoos, piercings, anything you want. Imagine a 65-year-old grandma buying a computer for the first time, walking into an Apple store. Who is she going to feel more comfortable talking to? A 21-year-old college student or somebody that looks like her?
Yes.
It's obviously good. It's good for business to be open-minded and to be inclusive and to not discriminate ever. It's
a good point.
Yeah.
And do you think what is the most different thing that you've never thought about before? Like what kind of stuff that you've never thought I would do this in your whole entrepreneur process?
I was expecting it to be hard. When, again, as I said, I did a lot of research. I talked to people in the industry that opened cafes, that opened restaurants, and I was expecting it to be hard. I didn't expect it to be that hard. I don't mean to scare anybody away. And I have to say, if your listeners get scared away easily, they shouldn't do it. So I haven't had a child yet, but I would equate it to the same. So it's newborn. It's very exciting. You don't sleep nights. You can't go anywhere. You have to babysit it. You have to watch it. You have to do this. You have to change the diapers, which in restaurant business means fixing leaky pipes, faulty equipment, cleaning up dust in the AC room, being all over dirty all the time. Something goes wrong, you're there in the middle of the night. You haven't paid, or your landlord changes stuff on you, you have to go negotiate. So negotiation is a huge part of anything you do. And so you'll never be prepared for everything that comes your way. I forget the question. What was the original question? I'm sorry.
Like, what do you think is the most different things that you've never thought about before?
I never thought I'd have to fix so many things. Everything, you name it, it broke. It broke. Every single fridge we've had there, it broke. The espresso machine
So frustrating.
broke. The first thing, yeah. Being, what are we going to do now? Well, you can call somebody and pay $300 an hour to have it fixed. Yeah. Or you can just dig on YouTube and see how you disassemble an ice machine and put it back together. And so sometimes, and just learning how to do that. Do I enjoy doing that? No.
Yeah.
Nobody does. If you have one of those traits as a listener that wants to open a coffee shop or a restaurant business, if you're one of those people that when something goes wrong, you almost smile. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm one of those people. When something goes wrong, when something gets broken or there's a challenge that needs fixing right on the spot, I become very calm. Don't freak out. I just, okay, this is the problem. Let's break it into smaller problems. What do we have to do? Start with the step one.
Yes.
Yeah, fixing things. Firing isn't easy. I never wanted to do that. I always thought that, no, you have to fire people, unfortunately. And here's the point on that. I felt bad for the longest time. I really felt bad. And then I was talking to a friend of mine. He would open these restaurants a lot. And firing was second nature to him. He would be doing it even without blinking an eye. And I say, how do you not have emotions about it? How do you not feel bad? So it just experience. First of all, you just have to do it for a little while to realize some things that most people don't realize. So the wrong person in a position is twice as bad as no person in a position. Because not only you cannot trust them and you have to constantly monitor and check and fix, the work gets done twice, right?
Yes, I totally agree this point. And I also feel that one of your advantages is knowing so many business people and having lots of connections. How do you build up these connections?
I talk to people. So a lot of the connections are from my years of working in the industry. So there's no easier way to meet people than work in different places, and then you stay in good relationships. So yeah, every position that I've had in a restaurant in Massachusetts or other places, I've kept an open door. I've always given them good notice before I left. I've always given them a good reason to leave, either better opportunities or I was figuring my own stuff. People always understand. They won't like you very much, but I've always kept a good relationship. And so I've joined groups. I've gone volunteering, the local TV station here in Malden. I've done that. For a little while, I joined a networking group where we'd meet every Tuesday at 7 a.m. And all it was is just business professionals. And we'd talk about our businesses and we'd refer business to each other, but mainly from other people coming to our shop. I have to say this has to be the biggest advantage of owning a coffee shop or a business, a restaurant, is knowing to meet people you would never normally meet.
Yes.
So everybody, it doesn't matter if they're a janitor or the mayor or the senator of Massachusetts, they all drink coffee.
Yes.
And it's such a unifying thing that when they all walk through the same door, and I will strike up a conversation with anybody. I'm just naturally curious about people, so I will ask a question. And so a lot of our customers are business owners. A lot of, there's a lot of Americans that own small businesses too. Name it, attorneys, dental hygienists, painters, all of which. And so if there are customers, there's a chance that they know me. And if they know me, then I know them. And then at some point I will need either their services, or we'll do something together, a promotion, or we'll donate some stuff to their cause.
Yeah.
So just chatting people up, talking to people all the time. It's interesting that my wife sometimes gets annoyed with how much I chat with other people. We went
back to work.
Yeah, it was like, get back to work. This is But then, oh, that's so nice. We made so many tips today. It's like, guess why?
I always see you talk with people, and I also really admire this personality. Like, you are so brave enough to ask questions or to like chat with people, or even like my target audience is Taiwanese. You would like to share.
Yeah, and I have to say, it's a skill. Most people think it's, of course, I am a natural extrovert, so I'm the definition of an extrovert. I feed on other people's energy, and so I need other people in my life to be excited about things. And so, but it also is a skill. And I know I do most of the talking now, but when is a conversation with somebody I don't know, I shut up. Like, I make an effort to talk as little as possible, because people love the sound of their voice.
Yes.
They do. And it takes so little to get that groove going. And then I have to remind myself, shut up, or you will not learn anything. And it's remarkable. Some of the most conversation where people will say, oh my God, you're such a good person to talk to. I've said 2 words. You're such a great person to talk to means they did 90% of the talking.
Yeah.
And I just listened. That's exactly what it means. Give the nugget, pull it in a little hook. Questions, weather, kids, what do you do? Where are you originally from? Do you come here often? There's like 5 things that will start somebody. And then, tell me more about that. Oh, interesting. How did you do that? That's it. You know what I mean? And then they think you're a great person to talk to.
Funny. Also, and until now, what is the biggest achievement you've ever made? How do you think about that?
The greatest achievement that I've ever had isn't an achievement at all. It's just luck. I've met my wife. That I have to say, that I've met Evelina. That has to be the biggest achievement of my life. I know it sounds sweet and I know it sounds cute, because it is. But I could have not done half of what I do without her. And anytime I've wanted to do anything, she was always there to support. The reason Bikeeny Caffe in Malden works as a business, we're not talking as a concept, as a business, financially viable, where we make a little more money than we spend, is all thanks to her. And case in point, Octavian and I did most of the work before we opened. And we found this spot in Malden. We've been in the talks with the owner for weeks. And we liked it, but let's do a little more research. Or let's do this, or let's go back to work. And finally, she sat us both down, Evelina, and she said, what are you guys doing? Do you like this location? Yes. Does it make financial sense for us to open it there? Yes. Does it have potential for expansion? Yes. Then just go do it. Just go put an offer for it. It was all her.
Yeah, she is so practical and hardworking.
We complement each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And what I mean by compliment is I bump heads all the time.
Yeah.
Because I am more of the break it fast and fix it kind of guy and always tinker and change things. And she is more of the meticulous person. Step by step, everything in order. I don't like surprises too much. Let's keep it like that. Why change it if it works? Type of person. And you need both in a business.
Yes.
You need both. And it's a balance of not changing too much, but also being innovative and looking forward to the future and what the customers want. And so I have the ability to see things that are not there yet. And she doesn't want to hear it. That's the story. And so I have to come up with enough arguments. I have to come up with good arguments why we need to do that. And so that keeps me fresh, right? That keeps me just like one step extra of research, or one step, I'm not even going to bring that up to her because it's a stupid idea, or something like that.
So sweet and so nice. Okay, finally, is there anything you want to share with people who also want to open a business, or do you think what is your entrepreneur mindset?
So my entrepreneurial mindset is don't do it. If you need convincing to open a business, if you need somebody else, do not do it. Mm-hmm. You only open a business, in my opinion, if everybody else, including your family, will tell you not to do it, and you still do it. And you still do it.
Yes.
That's the only reason you have to. It's so interesting. I was looking at an interview with Elon Musk, right? And so there was a tour of the factory, and somebody asked, the same question you asked me. And I stole it from there. Can you tell people, motivate them? Can you please motivate the people that are listening to open a business? Motivate them to do that. And he's like, no, just don't do it. Don't open it. Mm-hmm. And at first, it was a little bit disappointing for me to hear that. It was before I opened the coffee shop and the business. But then I realized what he did there. So the people that just want to say they want to do it, but never will actually, or they need, as I said, they need that extra inspiration to do it, are out of the question. And good. And very, very good. Because, as I said, it will be hard. It will be really hard. And you're going to want to quit. And you're going to want to quit again. And if you don't enjoy the process itself, if your main goal is to open a business to make money, you're going to be disappointed. Because my thinking is that the money will come no matter what. If you enjoy the process, if you like the people you work with, if you are excited of getting out of bed and going to do something you love, the money is going to come inevitably. But if you start thinking, oh my God, I'm going to open this business and it's going to be amazing and I'm going to make so much money, you are going to be disappointed. And when you're disappointed, you're not going to stick with it.
Thank you so much for your sharing. I really have a good conversation with you today.
Pleasure's all mine.
I hope you all doing well and keep sending good vibes to people. Thank you.
Good talking to you. Take care.
Bye. Yay.
Yay!
谢谢 Serg 的分享。那他的背景呢是来自摩尔多瓦，高中的时候来美国念书，曾经住过意大利、科罗拉多州、内华达州、加州等等的城市，最后决定定居在麻州这个叫 Malden 的城市。Malden 它就是一个在波士顿旁边，应该说大家都知道波士顿地区，但是波士顿其实是一个很小的点，邻近有很多个小城市，那 Malden 它是其中一个。那老板就跟他老婆一起在这里经营这家咖啡厅。一开始有3个人啊，3个 founders。他在节目里有提到一个叫 Octavian 的人，那但是后来就现在剩下他跟他老婆这样子。那会定居在 Malden 呢，波士顿地区，是因为他说波士顿的纬度跟他原本的国家 Moldova 比较接近，天气也比较接近，而且他很喜欢那里的秋天，也喜欢那里的人。他说麻州的人感觉是他们表面上有一层外壳，我不知道大家有没有听说，比如说美国比较偏那种新英格兰地区啊，那边的人都比较怎么讲 tough 一点之类的，就是比起中部地区这样子。所以他说他们表面上虽然看起来这样子，可是呢一旦跟他们变朋友就会是永远的朋友，所以他很喜欢那边。那这是一家怎样的咖啡厅呢？他说有3个要素是可以构成这个咖啡厅的元素。第一个是食物，灵感来自他原生国家 Moldova。它的食物是一种欧洲的叫做 puff pastry， 那其中有一个口味呢叫做 feta dill， 是一种起司来自他奶奶的食 食谱，所以这样子的点心在美国就显得比较特别。再来第二个是咖啡，咖啡是意大利风格，他爸爸之前住在意大利，那意大利很盛行咖啡厅啊 espresso 的文化这样子，所以这是第二点。那第三点是顾客服务，它是美式的顾客服务，所以这3点就是构成这家咖啡厅的3个要素。那研发咖啡的灵感呢，因为这家店有蛮多特别的口味，比如说香蕉焦糖拿铁，或者是什么椰子巧克力风味的拿铁。然后他说在开店之前就跟另外一个 founder 他们在美国先有一场 road trip， 大概是2周半的时间，从芝加哥开始开到佛罗里达，再开到西雅图。那在这期间呢，他们都会去一些 local 的咖啡厅，然后喝咖啡啊，写笔记，做试调看看，然后觉得有好的 idea 就可能就采用在自己的咖啡厅这样。那他也说，如果你研发一个东西发现卖得不好，那就砍掉，往下一个迈进。那为什么会卖咖啡呢？因为一直以来 Serg 都在餐厅工作，成长的背景 Moldova 其实没有太多的咖啡文化，他们都喝即溶式咖啡或是茶，但是他从小就一直知道想要有自己的事业，可是不确定要什么，只知道说会跟食物有关系。再来因为早起，所以觉得开的店是需要卖早上的东西，但是他一开始觉得只想卖点心，觉得说如果有独特的点心也是好制作的话，觉得这样就可以。可是另外一个创办人 Octavian 他之前住在西雅图，他看到咖啡对美国人的意义，就觉得说我们应该要卖咖啡，所以呢咖啡就变成他们的第一主要产品，然后点心变第二这样子。那之前没有咖啡的经验要怎么开始，他说他非常幸运，因为这家店的前身是一家珍珠奶茶店，但是那家珍珠奶茶店的老板他之前在星巴克工作，所以他有很多比如说知道 local 咖啡的一些像烘焙厂商啊等等的这些资源，所以他就跟他聊，然后跟他吸取这些经验跟资源，来帮助他开这家店。那另外他也提到说，他觉得开店需要有一点无知，要保持开放的心态，这样子可以帮助自己学习。那在开店之前呢，他也去咖啡厅工作过，他也建议说，如果你想做什么事情，你可以先去相关的地方工作，先看看说这是不是自己喜欢的。那也很幸运的，他刚好去了一家刚开幕的咖啡厅，所以他看到很多过程，也发现说那家店的人啊，其实过去很多相关的经验，但是你开了店之后还是有很多需要调整的地方，然后就是发生什么事情就去调整什么事情，只要你学习之前的经验都不是那么的重要。那从决定他要开店到这家店开始这个期间，他花了7个月。这7个月就是在找地点啊、制作菜单啊、试吃试喝这样子。那从确定找到地点、搬进去到正式开店只花7周，算是非常快速，所以他就说非常幸运这样子。那身为一个外国人在美国开店有没有什么挑战？他说在 Malden 这个城市可以说是没有，就是当地政府的关系，他们是非常开放的，而且当地的居民也会觉得说摩尔多瓦来的人这样非常好奇。那 Malden 这个城市本身就蛮多元的，也很多族群、很多语言，所以就是顾客啊，或者是警察啊等等那边的人都很开放，而且那里的顾客真的很耐心，也很友善，就是一种大家都会希望他们成功的感觉。这跟之前他在餐厅工作的经验很不一样。他也提到有一次有一个顾客就问说，你为什么不要在窗边放彩虹的国旗来表示支持同志族群？但 Serg 就说他们那边的气氛就是这样，我们不需要放一个很实体的物品来表示，但是如果你进来感受到大家的互动，就可以感受到这个氛围。 就像在雇用员工的时候也很多元，他有提到啊，如果你歧视的话，因为我们都知道美国很多种族嘛，或是来自各国的人，如果你有歧视的观念的话，你就已经排除那些你没有的观点，也就是说你可能已经排除一些可能成为你的消费者的族群这样子，那对于经营一家企业这样是不太好的。那什么事情是你开店前没想过的呢？他说他本来就预期到这个会很难，但是没有想过这么难，就很像你生了一个小孩，你会很兴奋，但是你也需要照顾他，你会被绑住，不能去任何地方。那第一个最没想过的事情就是没有想过会修这么多东西，就很多东西会坏掉。那后来他也学会了要冷静，遇到问题就拆解成更小的问题去解决它这样。那第二个比较没想过的是开除人这件事，他说开除人真的很不容易，而且会感觉很差。可是呢，如果错的人比没有人更加倍的不好，因为当你就是员工是错的话，你没办法去相信这个人，然后还要帮他来善后之类的，就反而更不好。所以就是要狠下心来开除人。再来因为我觉得他很常跟很多人保持良好的关系，就是很多那个 connection 这样子，就问他说你是怎么跟人保持良好的关系啊？他就说大多认识的人都是因为在这个产业工作很久累积的。那离职的时候呢，就要是好好的离职，比如说你要事先讲啊，或是有好的原因去离职，这样子在日后大家也都还是会有好的交集。那再来就是参加一些团体，或是说一大部分的这种人际关系是来自于客人。那他也觉得说这是开一家店一个很大的优势，就是你可以去认识到很多你本来没有想过会认识的人，因为大家都有可能来喝咖啡，不管是市长啊，或是创业家、警察或者是谁都有可能来喝咖啡，你就去跟他聊天就可以认识，然后就可能可以一起合作一些事情。再来就是多听大于说，因为在跟人家聊天的时候大家都喜欢听自己的声音，当你多听人家说事情的话，对方就会觉得你是一个很好的聊天对象。提到他老婆呢，他说他跟他老婆很互补，老婆是比较务实，那 Serg 是比较多想法，会一直想要改变事情，会想比较远，那老婆就是比较实际一点。所以他说因为这样他们可能也很多争吵，或是要一直想办法去说服对方，但他也觉得经营一家公司或者一家店，他觉得有这两种性格的人是很好的，然后很互补的。那最后想对想创业的人说什么呢？他说如果你需要人家来说服你开店，那你就不要开，但是如果是别人跟你说你不要开，你还是想开，那就开。那如果你开店只是为了想赚钱，那动机不够，而且你可能会失望。应该是你会去很享受这整个过程，这整个工作这样子。好啦，那今天就分享到这里，谢谢你们的收听，希望你们会喜欢这集，也希望有得到一些收获。如果喜欢这集的人，也可以帮我分享出去，或是到 Apple Podcast 帮我打新评分，也可以到我的 IG PeiPeiTalks PeiPeiTalks 告诉我你的想法，找我聊天。那我们一样下周一见咯，拜拜。